Well, after receiving information that some methods not in accordance with our policies and procedures for employment of civilian personnel was being used by Lieutenant Clark, I caused an investigation to be made regarding the matter. Our investigation revealed that Lieutenant Clark did furnish a prospective female employee a copy of an entrance examination in advance of the test by the city personnel director. Also, that in another case, pertinent information was purposely omitted from the file. Mr. Clark has this date resigned from the police department and the investigation is closed. Nothing, however, in the investigation revealed that anything other than the proper methods have been used in the employment of police personnel.
Mr. Adams, generally the engineering department records show that the homeowners themselves don't begin these petitions for paving. Who does this?
Well, they come to us. Now, the only way I can answer this question, Larry, is that I know very little about it until it reaches the engineering department. Now, who is the instigator, who is the starter of getting up a paving project? It would have to be some of the property owners come to the city engineering department to start those, because we don't get out looking for those, although we are under the impression that paving is a good thing for Oklahoma City.
What about professional petitioners?
Well, we have licensed petitioners here in Oklahoma City, and I'm sure that these people don't try to put something over the people. They're required to get a certain percent. But they're bound to be somebody to tell these petitioners, ask them to come out and circulate a petition, some of the property owners. If not so, I don't think they would go out hunting these projects, Larry.
Well, how do they make their money? Who pays them?
Well, that's another question to answer frankly. The city doesn't pay them, I can assure you that. I think
Governor, will there be any effort made to recover the state's money?
Oh, yes. I will instruct the Attorney General to take the necessary steps to recover every dollar that's lost to the state. Those men are under surety bond.
This investigation has been going on for at least 2 weeks. Has there been any effort to see that this thing doesn't happen again?
Well, I'm sure that Mr. Hutton will take necessary steps to try to plug any holes that might enable this to happen again. Of course, you know, I don't know why it happens, but something like this is happening all the time in business where money is involved, in banks and the government and business of every type. Some people will try to embezzle public funds. Now, I'm not accusing this man of embezzling funds. The county attorney has. I don't know. All I know about it is what he's filed. But he has evidence to indicate that there has been some money used that wasn't for private purposes, that didn't find its way to the state channel, that is to the state treasury. And of course, every time anything happens like this, why, and we've had it to happen before in other departments, every year nearly, we have something that'll happen where somebody will pad an expense account or try to embezzle some money somewhere. We've sent people to the pen since I've been governor for doing this very thing. That is, doing what he's accused of doing. Why they do it, I don't know, but it happens. An individual bears false witness against his brother. In my opinion, he's committed a greater crime against the laws of God and the laws of man than a man that embezzles money. And by inference, it would indicate to the people that Mr. Hutton and I had knowledge that the man had committed a crime and didn't do anything about it. And that is very damaging to a citizen, and it's very damaging to a public official. Mr. Hutton was carrying on a thorough investigation. I requested it. But we had no knowledge that the man had committed a crime, and we wouldn't file charges against him until we had sufficient evidence to justify us to believe that he had committed a crime.
Well, that means then that he did no juggling of policemen's files, nothing to affect grades on tests and so forth. That part has all been untouched.
Emphatically, right.
Chief, where does this leave you now? That's a pretty important post up there, your personnel department, training school, intelligence division. That's all combined in one unit. Where do we go from here on that? Will you name a replacement for Lieutenant Clark?
Not right away.
Do you know how soon you will?
No. For the time being, that office will be, the business of that office will be conducted out of the...
Tends to start, and they're off. And running. At the start, it is Terang breaking on top. Seaneen is second. Roundtable is third. The Searcher is fourth. And Pit Boss is fifth. Going into the clubhouse turn, Terang is drawn out by 2 lengths. Seaneen is second by 2.5. Roundtable is third by a length and a half. The Searcher by a length and a half, and Pit Boss. Nearing the 3/4 pole, it's Terang leading by 2.5 lengths. Seaneen is second by 3/4. Roundtable is closing the gap now, moving in on the outside to be third by 2.5 lengths. The Searcher by a neck, and Pit Boss. As they move down the backstretch, it's Terang by a length and a half. Seaneen is second by 3/4. Roundtable is going steadily on the outside to be third by 3.5 lengths. Pit Boss is fourth by a half a length, and the Searcher. Into the far turn, it is Terang by a half a length, and Seaneen is moving up now to challenge and going for the lead on the outside. He's second by 2. Roundtable is third by 4.5. The Searcher and Pit Boss. And now as they approach the quarter pole, it's Seaneen taking the lead and drawing out by a length and a quarter. Terang is second by 3/4 of a length, and Roundtable moving up on the outside is third by 4. Then comes the Searcher and Pit Boss. In the stretch, it's Seaneen and Terang with Roundtable third, and now it's Seaneen and Terang, and Seaneen has a big length. It looks to be insurmountable. It's Seaneen in front, and they're coming down to the wire with Seaneen going steadily, winning it easily in hand by 4 lengths. Roundtable second by 2.5. Terang third by 4 lengths. Then comes the Searcher and...
This planning commission is going to have to administer the expenditure of this money and the plan that follows. I'm not going to mention any names at all. But it is disturbing, and I just...
No opposition to it. And every time any of them have talked to me, they say we've got to have that $40,000 or $50,000 to really put that thing into effect. Now, if any of them against it, they have certainly kept very quiet about it, because I can't recall, maybe all can't. Not a one of them has said no to it in either one of the meetings we had, and the majority of them, I think one meeting is all that.
Now, I made this statement that there's discord in our planning commission.
on this very matter. That's my assumption and my belief, and I think it's serious. I'm not saying to change anything they recommended. I would certainly take that under advisement. Sure, I'm not disagreeing with what they did. That is not the point at all. But our planning commission is going to have to pull together on this thing in order to make it succeed. Because it's a big job, a very big job. And there can't be disagreement among them. They ought to agree before they pass the recommendation on the